lecture me on how I should remember the Nazi Holocaust. No one, full stop. Number two, Mr. Charny, I lost my job, I lost my living, I lost my profession because I was denouncing the hooligans, the hoodlums, and the racketeers who have been exploiting the suffering of my parents. So please don't lecture me about how people make money off of the Nazi Holocaust. I am currently unemployed because I denounced the hoodlums, the hooligans, and the racketeers who exploited my parents' suffering.
Okay, we're going to go to a short break real quickly. Israel, would you like to reply to that before we go to the break?
I'd like to reply to your question about Netanyahu's statement.
All right, we'll have to do that in
the architectural plans for Auschwitz.
Israel, I will let you answer that, but we're going to have to go to a short break. But when we come back, we'll continue our discussion on the Holocaust. Stay with RT.
The dramatic example of the firmness, courage, and honor. They managed not only to stay alive, but to keep their faces and souls in inhuman circumstances. "900 days in besieged Leningrad through the eyes of the survivors." Every month, we give you the future. We help you understand how we'll get there and what tomorrow will bring. The best in science and technology from across Russia and around the world. Join us for Technology Update on RT.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm Peter Lavelle. To remind you, we're discussing whether the Holocaust strategy is being exploited. But before, let's see what Russians think about abusing history.
Last May, Russia announced it was considering passing a law preventing efforts to falsify history in a way that harms Russia's national interest. The government called for measures to criminalize any public defamation of the Soviet contribution to victory in World War II. This stance is also reflected among the greater population. According to the Russian Public Opinion Research Center, most Russians consider denial of the USSR victory in World War II a crime. 60% say they support the idea to criminalize such denials. 26% disapprove of the initiative. Along with criminalizing denial of the Soviet Union's contribution to victory in World War II, it would also be against the law to claim the Soviet Union didn't liberate Eastern Europe. The same law will also outlaw Holocaust denial. Peter?
Thank you for that, Yelena. I'd like to go back to Israel. I want you to be able to finish your point about how Israel uses the Holocaust for its political purposes and its foreign policy. But I also want to go back to what Norman's major thesis, that people are making money off of the Holocaust. But first, Israel, you go right ahead.
Yes, I will go right ahead. Prime Minister Netanyahu's remarks at Yad Vashem were entirely appropriate. The Holocaust is a call to every human being to greater humanity and a call to be aware that in every generation, as it were, there are dictators and evil people and evil nations who embark on plans for conquest and, worse, destruction of other people. There is no question that Iran is an existential threat to the state of Israel. It is brandishing the development of nuclear weapons in the face of the opposition of the world, and it is engaging in Holocaust denial as a government project. The Holocaust is a wake-up call. We should have been there in the 1930s.
All right, Norman, you go ahead. Norman?
Yeah. I think this is
another adjective by Finkelstein.
Israel, let's let Norman has the floor right now. Go ahead, Norman.
Right. I think this is a familiar tune.
Sure, you can have it.
How many people in your audience remember that before the United States attacked Iraq, Israel and its apologists dragged in the Holocaust, used the Holocaust schmata, that's Yiddish for rag, used the Holocaust schmata to say that Saddam was Hitler, to say that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction? Do people remember how Israel was whipping up the hysteria about the threat that Iraq posed to Israel, the existential threat of Saddam Hitler, how Shimon Peres, Barak, and all the other leaders of Israel went around the world beating the drums of war? We had to attack Iraq. Iraq was an existential threat to Israel. Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. Now Mr. Charny drags in the Holocaust schmata, the Holocaust rag. He exhumes the 6 million dead Jews to mobilize and whip up hysteria for a new war, this one against Iran. That's what the Holocaust has become. It's become the chief weapon for mobilizing hysteria to wage war. Now, isn't that an irony? That's what the Holocaust is today, a shakedown racket and a weapon, an ideological weapon to wage war. Hezbollah is Hitler, Hamas is Hitler, Ahmadinejad is Hitler.
Peter, whenever you say I'm ready to speak.
Okay, I think, Norman, I think we've gotten your point there. Go ahead, Israel, go ahead. These are very strong words here. And you know, a lot of people say that this does happen very often. The new Hitler that we have to mobilize against, and it's almost always an enemy of Israel.
Exactly.
Go ahead, sir.
Strong words rendered again nastily. I do most of my work about the genocides of all the peoples in the world. The Holocaust is one of them. It is close to my heart as a Jew, as a person.
But the state of Israel,
not the only genocide
the state of Israel doesn't recognize the Armenian genocide, does it?
I spend a great deal of time recognizing the Armenian genocide and working with Armenians all over the world.
But the state of Israel doesn't. But the state of Israel doesn't recognize it. I'm against the state of Israel's failure to recognize, and I have fought it continuously, and we have won victory after another in terms of public knowledge and awareness of the Armenian genocide by the Israeli community. We will yet get the government. It's a tragedy and a shame they haven't recognized. But I never agree to a single, I never agree to a single word being said to a survivor of any genocide that in any way is attacking, disrespectful, does not recognize the ultimate tragedy that the Armenian